The second term, Trump's policy earthquake. Donald Trump's re-election in 2024 sent shockwaves through America. It signaled a doubling down on his distinct brand of economic and social policy. One of the most immediate and significant impacts was felt in the realm of work-life culture. Trump wasted no time in enacting a series of policy changes that have dramatically reshaped the landscape for workers across the country. One of the most notable changes was the tightening of immigration policies. This included stricter enforcement of I-9 audits and an uptick in worksite raids targeting undocumented workers. These actions have had a chilling effect on industries heavily reliant on immigrant labor, including construction, hospitality, and manufacturing. Beyond immigration, Trump set his sights on labor regulations. His administration moved swiftly to replace key figures at the National Labor Relations Board and the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, with individuals seen as more favorable to business interests. This changing of the guard has led to a slowdown in regulatory activity, the dismissal of appeals, and the withdrawal of several Obama-era regulations concerning overtime and independent contractor status. Perhaps most concerning for workers' rights advocates is the potential repeal of the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act. This landmark legislation, passed during the Biden administration, provided crucial protections for pregnant workers, ensuring they could access reasonable accommodations without fear of discrimination or job loss. Its potential demise under Trump's watch has raised alarm bells for millions of working women across the nation. Corporate America falls in line. A sea change in the workplace. Trump's policy shifts have reverberated throughout the private sector, prompting a wave of corporate responses that further erode work-life balance. Major corporations, often taking their cues from the administration's actions, have implemented stricter in-office mandates, ratcheted up performance expectations, and initiated significant staff cuts. This trend is particularly evident in the tech sector, where giants like Goldman Sachs, Amazon, and Meta have been leading the charge back to the office. These companies, once lauded for their embrace of remote work and flexible schedules, have made a sharp U-turn, demanding employees return to traditional office settings. The justifications for these moves vary. Some executives cite the need for improved collaboration and innovation, arguing that these outcomes are best achieved through in-person interactions. Others point to concerns about productivity, suggesting that remote work has led to a decline in output. However, critics argue that these explanations mask a more cynical reality, a desire to exert greater control over employees and maximize profits at the expense of worker well-being. The elimination of remote work options not only removes a valuable benefit for employees, but also disproportionately impacts those with caregiving responsibilities or those living in areas with high costs of living. A ripple effect, Trump's global influence on work-life balance. The impact of Trump's policies extends far beyond America's borders, influencing labor laws, corporate practices, and societal norms on a global scale. His administration's aggressive deregulation efforts have emboldened like-minded leaders in other countries to pursue similar measures, often at the expense of worker protections and rights. This trend is particularly concerning in developing nations, where labor laws are often weaker and workers have fewer safeguards against exploitation. As more countries adopt Trump's deregulatory playbook, the risk of a global race to the bottom on labor standards increases, potentially leading to a world where job insecurity, long hours, and inadequate pay become the norm. Furthermore, Trump's emphasis on corporate tax cuts and deregulation has fueled a global shift towards prioritizing profit over people. This has manifested in reduced benefits, fewer workplace protections, and a greater emphasis on short-term gains over long-term sustainability. The new normal, shifting work patterns, and growing tensions. The combined effects of Trump's policies and corporate responses have resulted in a dramatic shift in work patterns, creating a new normal that is fraught with tension and uncertainty. While the pandemic-accelerated rise of remote work initially offered a glimmer of hope for improved work-life balance, Trump's influence has ushered in an era of heightened expectations and constant availability. The gig economy, fueled by Trump's support for independent contractors, has continued to expand, blurring the lines between traditional employment and freelance work. While this offers flexibility for some, it also comes with a lack of benefits, job security, and legal protections. Adding to the anxieties of the modern workplace is the rise of surveillance technologies. Employers are increasingly utilizing tools to monitor employee productivity, track their movements, and even analyze their communications. While proponents argue that these measures are necessary to ensure efficiency and security, critics raise concerns about privacy violations and the erosion of trust between employers and employees. The resurgence of a top-down management style favored by Trump and embraced by many corporations has further exacerbated workplace tensions. This approach, focused on efficiency and driven by metrics, often leaves little room for employee input or autonomy, leading to feelings of disempowerment and dissatisfaction. As Trump's second term unfolds, the future of work-life balance in America hangs in the balance. The policies enacted during his first term, coupled with the ongoing corporate responses, have created a perfect storm of challenges for workers. Whether these trends will continue to define the American workplace for years to come remains to be seen. However, one thing is certain: the fight for a fair and equitable work-life balance is far from over.